Chicago's very own WGN News.
A new analysis of homicide data from 2023 finds 9 out of 10 black homicide victims are killed by guns. The report just released by Violence Policy Center. Executive Director Josh Sugarman joins me now to talk about the findings. And we knew the numbers were bad because we hear about it every day, but this is sobering. It really puts it into perspective, doesn't it?
Yes, what we found looking both nationally and also in Illinois, that there continues a devastating impact on Black Americans. In Illinois, we found that the state ranked second in the country for its Black homicide victimization rate.
What about the city itself, Chicago?
Unfortunately, the study did not look at the city of Chicago itself. We just looked at the state and, of course, I mentioned national data.
Give me an idea of what the numbers are looking like right now. We said 9 out of 10, 10, I'm sorry. Yeah, 9 out of 10. But if overall, what does it look like?
If you look nationally, more than 12,000 Black Americans died in homicides, of which about 86% were killed by gunfire. Looking at Chicago, looking at the state of Illinois, 844 Illinois residents died in homicides. And roughly of that, when you look at the statistics, you have 14% of the Illinois population is Black, but 71% of all homicide victims were Black Illinois residents.
So what do we do about this?
Well, I think Illinois has taken a leadership role in addressing this issue. You've done a couple of things. One is looking behind the gun store counter, banning assault weapons, putting new restrictions and regulations on gun dealers, but at the same time, working at the community level, bringing in all stakeholders, working with victims, survivors, policymakers, institutions, the churches, law enforcement, and recognizing that solutions to gun violence happen both on the state level and on the local level. For example, we work with One AIM Illinois, one of your statewide gun violence prevention groups, and they have an active program engaging all these people in this type of coalition.
Josh, if I recall, we did talk about this, and you talked about some policies and some ways of doing this. And you said, from what I recall, or the young lady who we spoke with about this, that Chicago's formula for doing that isn't bad.
Well, one of the most important things we've recognized in this study, doing it year after year, is the fact that a lot of states that are in with the 10 highest rates of homicide victimization, they ignore the problem. Either they don't want to talk about it, they don't accept it, or to be honest, in some places they just don't care. And I think when you look at Illinois, across the board, from the state level, local level, people do care. And really what you're looking at is Illinois is one of the leaders in the country as far as applying proven approaches and applying new approaches.
Wouldn't you think that people are elected, into offices because of this, though?
Well, I would like to think that. And I think there are states where they recognize the importance of this issue, and it is a driving issue as far as what people run on and what people expect from their policymakers. So I think, yes, I think in some states that's true. Obviously, in other states, it's the exact opposite.
If you had a suggestion for Governor Pritzker today, what would it be to bring these numbers down?
My first suggestion would be to stay the course, that the state is making tremendous strides as far as the policies putting in place. Don't give up on them. And there are certain areas that could use more support, and clearly intervention programs on the local level within the community to stop violence are one key element that we believe could receive greater support.
Josh, there are so many programs out there. Obviously, more needs to be done.
Unfortunately, more needs to be done. And I think one thing I would add is that, people sometimes act as if guns grow, on little trees in the back of the gun store, in back of a gun store. A key element is to hold the gun industry accountable for lethality that can be led back or is a result of its products. And once again, I think Illinois has done that, but I think a lot more focus could be taken on that aspect of this debate.
John Sugarman, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.